Hey, great Thursday morning, everyone. Cesar Mascoro Jr. with Manufactured Home Sales Mastery. We're in here with our daily 15 minutes to mastery. It's a daily encouragement. It's simply a time that we spend 15 minutes going over some information, applying it to life, applying it to business, so that you can get your day off started on the right foot and get going in the right direction. So today I've got something. I've actually got a question for you that you need to be asking yourself anytime that you're speaking to someone, whether it's in business or not. Okay, and you're trying to explain something. You're trying to add a value to something, or add value to yourself and what you can do, what you can accomplish. Whenever you're going to point something out, you need to ask yourself this one question: so what? So what? Right? Hey, I can do this. So what? What is the benefit of you being able to do that? Right? And so today we're talking mainly to you manufactured home salespeople out there, or anyone that sells any sort of product, maybe cars, whatever it may be, that you need to add a benefit to. Maybe you've got some cards that you're trying to sell, right, to people to help them out. And when you're pitching those things, you need to ask yourself, so what? What's the benefit of it? Not just that it's got the information that they may need, but what can they do with that information? How does that information help them out? All right. Just a little tip right there. But anyway, check this out. When we're feature benefiting, okay, just like the quote says, or I found this one nil online. It says, features tell, benefits sell. Okay, the benefits are what sell. And then you've got to go one step past that. And we'll get into that here shortly when we're talking about feature benefiting. Now, the issue is this, guys. A lot of you out there, and I've been guilty of this in the past, especially when I first started in the industry, we have a term that we call feature dumping. Okay. And that's more when you're like the tour guide and you're walking around or man, okay, don't get offended, but realtors do this a lot. All right. They feature dump. They don't feature benefit. Think about it. Whenever you've gone with a realtor to go look at a home and they start pointing out the windows, oh, there's tons of windows, there, you look at the high ceilings and the crown molding and these cabinets are beautiful. And they're just pointing out features, right, of the home. That's feature dumping. So what? So what about all these windows? So what about that style of cabinet? So what about the fact that I've got 10-foot ceilings as opposed to 8-foot ceilings? So what about the crown molding? Don't just feature benefit, because when you're feature benefiting, or I'm sorry, don't just feature dump, okay? Because that builds no value. Everything that you should be doing throughout the whole process, from when you're posting your ads, when you post ads, when you respond to the ads, when you talk to people on the phone, when you're sitting in front of them and going through the interview process, every step of the way, everything that you do should be intentional. And the intention behind it should be to build value. Build value, because building value is what's going to help you get this deal done. How do you build value? Excuse me. How do you build value without it being transactional? That's in the interview, right? That's when you're speaking to them and asking them all the right questions and finding out why it is that they're truly trying to buy a home, like we talked about yesterday, the 5 dominant buying motives, right? Pride, profit, love, need, or fear. Figuring that out, that's building value without it being transactional, when it's just about the person. But now when we're talking about going out into the homes, we said that's the next step, right? The next step is taking them out into the home. And this is the easy part, but at the same time, you still have to build more value. And the way you build more value is by featuring a certain thing and then describing the benefit. And that's why I tell you, don't just feature dump, but you need to ask yourself, so what? So what about the ecobee thermostat or the digital thermostat, depending on the brand of home that you've got, okay, that you're showing? So what about the fact that it's got GFI outlets in the kitchen? So what about the whole house water shutoff? So what? Whenever you're starting to train on feature benefiting, and you should be training on this. If you're not training on being a the best feature benefiting salesperson in your office, you're losing out on money, you're losing out on opportunities, and you're not getting every part of the business you can, because this is probably this is as important as anything else, because this is when you're building value in that home. Okay. So ask yourself, so what about that feature? Okay. Because there should always be a benefit to whatever feature that you're pointing out. If you're going to point something out, even on the outside, if you're talking about the vented soffit, right? If you're talking about the ridge caps, if you're talking about the 25 or 20-year shingle, whatever kind of shingle you've got, if you're talking about the peephole in the door, if you're talking about the siding, if you're talking about the frame, anything that you're talking about should have a benefit to it. So don't just tell somebody that this home is great because it's got hardboard siding on the outside. So what? What about the hardboard siding? Well, let me tell you, Mr. Customer, because of this product, now you've got a 50-year warranty that comes along with it, a 50-year product warranty on that. So if that warranty is deemed to be defective, right? Let's say you get some rainstorms and it takes in water, then they'll come out and take a look at it. And if it's determined that it took in water because there was a defect in the construction of that material, they're going to replace it for you in those 50 years. Okay. Same thing with the 25-year shingle. Same thing with with whatever it is on the exterior that you're talking about. There must always be a benefit to it. Okay. Now, if you want to take it even a step further, and you should be taking it a step further, you need to associate money. You need to associate money to that benefit. How do we associate money to the benefit? Okay, let's go back out to that siding that we were talking about, right? You're pointing out the siding. You're pointing out the fact that you got hardboard siding on this house, or if it's lap and gap siding, maybe you've got a hardy siding, right? So it's a fiber cement siding. And the fact it's got the warranty. So, Mr. Customer, let me tell you this, right? Let's say there was a rainstorm and that siding did take in water and it swole up, okay? And the factory comes out here and they deem that it was a defect in the construction of the material, right? Now, rather than you spending a whole weekend replacing 4 or 5 sheets of this siding and maybe being out in the material alone, you're going to be out possibly on 5 sheets, I don't know, $150. Okay. Plus the labor is probably going to be another $1,000. So anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 in time and labor and materials. Let me ask you this, Mr. Customer, would you rather keep those $1,200 to $1,500 in your pocket, or would you rather be paying them to get that stuff replaced? Right. Well, of course, I'd love to keep it. Great. What would you do? What could you do with an extra $1,200 to $1,500 in your pocket? Well, I could do this. I could do that. There you go. So we can both agree then that you want to make sure that the home that you're purchasing has hardboard siding on it. Am I right or am I wrong? Yes, that's right. That's what I'd love to have. There you go. And so that's where we take this, by associating money. Same thing on the inside. But one of the things that I always loved, and here's a little tip for you. Okay. In case you have not ever done this, because people want the show, right? I got a whole podcast on that. Give them the show. They want the show. They want to see, they want you to stand out, man. They're going to remember you for standing out. They're going to remember you for doing things, not just your energy, not just the tone of your voice or the volume of your voice, although that's important, right? Just like with these messages, it's so important. But it's also what you do, okay? If you've got carpet in the house, man, jump down on the carpet, lay on the carpet, show them how soft it is, and the benefit of the fact that now if they've got small children will be able to play, they don't have to worry about falling over and hurting themselves on the hardwood floor or on the linoleum floor, okay? The same thing with having to replace it. It's got tack strips all across. So now if you have to replace it, you don't have to worry about having to put in tack strips, and you're going to save yourself another $500-$600. What would you be able to do with an extra $500 in your pocket, Mr. Customer? Okay. Now, here's the one that here's the tip. Okay. Every time you're in the home, feature benefit your tubs and showers. Feature benefit your tubs and showers. Don't just point at them and say, there's my shower, there's the tub. Get in the tub. Get into the shower. Go in there, right? Boom, stand in it. And let me tell you, Mr. Customer, one of the biggest issues that happens in homes, for homes, whether they're manufactured homes or site-built homes, is the fact that a lot of times builders won't reinforce under these tubs. And what happens over time as you're using your shower and you're living in your home, you start to develop microfiber cracks, these small little cracks that are around the drain that you can't see. You can't tell that you have that crack, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer, until you start to notice that when you step out of the shower, your floor is starting to feel soft, because at that point in time, the water that's been dripping through that drain onto your subfloor now is spreading out and it's softening your subfloor. That is a common issue in tubs and showers that are not reinforced. So let me tell you, okay, you'd have to then remove that shower. You'd have to lift up the flooring, take out the subfloor, get new subfloor put down, put in a shower, get everything redone, resealed, retrimmed, so that your house looks just as beautiful as you'd like it to. However, now we're talking $3,000 or $4,000 down the road. So, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, would you rather keep those $3,000 or $4,000 in your pocket, maybe put into your kids' college fund, maybe invest it into something else that's going to make you money, or would you rather be paying it out to get your bathroom repaired? Well, of course, I'd love to keep it myself. Of course you would. So why would you even consider going to another builder who doesn't do this when you don't even know if they did, because they're not even talking to you about it? They haven't told you whether they did. Did anyone talk to you about their reinforced showers or tubs? And folks, I'm talking to you out there. Look, I'm telling you right now, each and every one of you has this in your homes, has these features in your homes. Some of you may have different features than others depending on the product you have, but you all have features and benefits, but you're not taking the time to do it. You should, because this is where you build the value. Because now I just saved you $1,500 with the type of siding I've got. I saved you $4,000 in the fact that we reinforce our showers. I'm saving you another $1,000 a year because of my LED lighting. That's going to save you those $1,000 in your electric bill over the year. My gosh, that just in that alone, folks, we're talking almost $6,000, $7,000 that I just kept in your pocket by deciding to purchase from us here at XYZ Company and from me as your housing consultant, because that's what I do each and every day. I make sure that families just like you and yours are taken care of with the best product, the best service, and the best help and support from me. Now, are they going to go anywhere else after you do that? No, of course not. Right? But associate that money. And that's where you always add the tie down. You feature, you point out the feature, you point out the benefit, you associate money to it. And then just like I did, would you even consider purchasing a home from anyone else that didn't have the hardboard siding, that didn't reinforce their showers, that didn't have the LED lighting, that is not saving you the $6,000 to $7,000 in just those three things alone? I could point out other things in here where I'm saving you upwards of $20,000 to $25,000 just by you deciding to purchase this home. So even if my home, I'm telling you, even if my home is $5,000 to $10,000 more than anyone down the street, I still know it's less expensive than a site-built home, but in comparison to another manufactured home, my home is still saving them $20,000 to $25,000 because I am associating money to each one of the benefits that I am presenting. That's where you're missing out. You're feature dumping instead of feature benefiting, and then you're not tying money to it, to each one of those benefits, and then you're not tying that down by asking if they would even consider purchasing from anyone who didn't have these things. So, feature, benefit, tie down. That equals adding value, building value. And that is what we do in everything that we do. That's what I preach to you each and every day. That's in our messages. Anything that you do, do it with the intention of adding value. Do it with the intention of helping people solve their problems. Do it with the intention of helping them get out of their own way so they can make the decision that they came to make when they came to see you. Nobody shows up on your lot to just look around. They're here to see if you and your product and your company are going to be able to provide them the solution to the problem, not to look around, not to shop around. They're shopping around, but they're not shopping for a house. They're shopping for the person and the company and the product that is going to make them feel warm and fuzzy inside. And you're not going to make them feel warm and fuzzy inside if you're not building value from the moment you speak to them on the phone to when they're in your office and you're asking the right questions and digging deep and making them feel that you really care. And until you show them the value, the benefit of every feature, and then you ask for the business. Don't ask what they think, ask for the business. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about asking for the business, because so many of you out there don't even ask. Not asking for the business. Why are you even showing up to the office? But remember, today, we're talking about how features tell, benefits sell, but even more on top of that, folks, adding that value, right? Associating money to it and then tying it down. That right there. Follow those steps, 4 steps. Feature, benefit, associate value, money, and tie it down. You do that, folks, each and every time that you present a home, you are going to win more times than not. You're going to be that person that stands out, not just because you get in the tub and you jump around in it, but because you are actually associating the value to each one of those features. And that is going to stand out to them, and that's going to drive them to make the decision that you are the consultant that they came to see and that they should be buying from. You guys have a great Thursday. All right, I'm heading out to Des Moines, Iowa today. I get on a flight later on today to go speak, actually do a 2-day training with the Suncrest Capital Group out there. Okay. They're going to have, I think we've got 10 or 11 people coming in, community managers and support staff that are coming in. And we're going to do some training on being able to get some homes moved in some manufactured home communities. So I'm excited about that. I'll be there over the weekend. Then next week, man, it's a full week of nothing but selling, baby. We're going to get into it. You're going to be with me along for the ride. You guys have a great Thursday. Get yourself set up for an awesome selling weekend and a selling Saturday. And as always, I can't wait to meet you.